Oh well, I suppose it was only a matter of time before Germany was dragged into the whole US election fiasco, and here I am now talking about it, not because I want to, but because it seems I have to. For those who don't know, one of the conspiracy theories doing the rounds at the moment involves the US Army conducting a raid in the German city of Frankfurt in order to seize some servers involved in electoral fraud. Let's just pause to consider this one for a moment. The US Army conducted a full-scale military operation in a civilian matter, and in doing so violated the sovereignty of an ally and broke international law. And not one German politician has said anything about it at all. Nobody in the governing coalition, nobody in the main opposition, nobody on the Trump-hating far left, nobody in the Trump-loving far right. Nobody at all. I've looked, but I can't find any photos or videos of this event. None of the news organisations here in Germany appear to have covered it, and I can't even find any videos that have been uploaded by ordinary people using their phones. Look, such an action would be pretty much a declaration of war. And as a resident, in fact a citizen of Germany, I can quite categorically state that we are not currently in a state of war, and so far nobody has been talking about the possibility of going to war. So, time to look into this story. I could well imagine that, for example, the US authorities might have requested that the German police aid their investigations into allegations of electoral fraud, and the story just grew in the telling. I mean, that kind of thing does happen. The story first began to spread in the US when a Texan congressman called Louis Gohmert was interviewed a couple of days ago on Newsmax. Now, this is a news organisation which leans very strongly to the right and is now the news broadcaster of choice for hardline Trump supporters upset that Fox News projected a win for Biden. In this segment, Gohmert is talking about Cytel, a company that makes software for elections.
They have their main headquarters, used to be in Barcelona, Spain. Aren't we glad we use foreigners to handle things for us? But headquarters is in the home of Merkel, who told Trump the day after the election he needed to just give up. But Cytel, that's a place where all of this information was cycling through. Not supposed to, but it was. And actually, there was a German that, as I was told, there was a tweet in German from Germany that the U.S. Army had gone in and seized the Cytel server. They're going through bankruptcy right now.
So basically, he's saying that somebody told him of a tweet making that allegation. That is very flimsy evidence indeed. I have found this tweet, which is about a week old as I make this video, and the earliest reference I can find to this allegation. It is a screenshot with absolutely no clues to where it came from. It is full of spelling mistakes and grammar mistakes, and it is also, let's face it, incredibly vague. I have found a plain text version with a few minor differences, which was posted a few hours later. It was posted to a QAnon group on VK, which is basically kind of a Facebook but based in Russia. But again, there were no clues that would help me track down the ultimate source. I also didn't get any clue as to why people thought the US Army was confiscating these servers in the first place. My assumption was that the explanation would be that the Trump administration ordered it because they were investigating allegations of electoral fraud. Congressman Gohmert, however, offered a different explanation.
I had suggested that the president might get information from Cytel, and the next day before, and I sent him specifics that he needed to get that would show a lot of fraud. And the next day before that information could be gotten, somebody ordered the U.S. Army, according to the tweet, to go in and seize the server. There are people involved inside the government that have been trying to take this president down, State Department, intel community, and FBI.
So, his theory, which he presents without any evidence, is that the army was acting on the instructions of Trump's enemies within government to destroy evidence of vote manipulation. I'm not sure I can believe that the US Army would allow itself to be used in that way, but what do I know? Meanwhile, the conspiracy theory has been spreading through America, but in some slightly different forms. In one version, the company involved is Dominion, this being the company which until now has been the one implicated in allegations of electoral fraud. In other versions, the raid took place not in Frankfurt, Germany, but in Barcelona, Spain, which is where Scytl is actually based. So the next step is to try to find information about Scytl itself. And here I hit a snag because their official website appears to be down at the moment. But thanks to the Google cache, I was able to get their side of the story. On the 13th of November, so the day before I made this video, Scytl denied all the allegations. They say they have no servers or offices in Frankfurt, they have not been raided by the US Army or by anyone else, and they have nothing to do with Dominion. For this election, they say that their software was used for the following things. Number 1, providing visual representations of votes for use in news broadcasts and so on. Number 2, training election workers. Number 3, creating websites for election officials to publish information, such as where you should go to cast your ballot. And number 4, sending ballots to military personnel serving overseas and to absentee voters. According to Wikipedia, the company did last year have an emergency backup server in Frankfurt. The article provides a reference to a PDF document on Scytl's website, but since that website is down at the moment, there's nothing at all I can say about that. Which leaves us with this. A politician is alleging an event which, had it happened, would normally have caused a major diplomatic incident, and he cites as evidence a vague and unverified tweet which he didn't even see. Without wanting to take sides on the wider debate about whether or not electoral fraud actually took place, I am very confident indeed that this particular allegation is completely without foundation.